As a young girl from Arkansas, Jennifer Dean always dreamed of success. A natural risk taker, she always believed that where you focus is where you go. In 1993, she had an idea that was designed by a higher power. She set out to move through time and space to make this goal a reality.
Got something to say. Get out of my way. I'm here to stay. And you can't stop me. You can't stop me.
Life is not fair or unfair. It's exactly what you make it. You know, most of us are often looking back instead of trying to look forward to what's ahead of us. And we're turning around and we're looking backwards trying to figure out what happened and not what we can do to make it happen. And you know, how you see life is how life sees you. If you ever want to think about why is life unfair to me, how you see life is how life thinks you're unfair to it too. How you see life is how life sees you back. If you see life as I'm always broke, can't get ahead, can't get anything done, that's how life sees you back. You are always broke and you can't get ahead. But most of the things you look for are in front of you, not behind you. And there's not a lot you can do about what has happened, but there's a lot you can learn from it and grow from it and do something about what's coming ahead of you. And you know, I have wonderful kids. One of them asked me, I was talking to them once and they were worried about what had happened in their life previously. I have two I adopted. And I asked, what's wrong? And they said, I'm worried about what happened. And I said, I can't affect change with what has happened, but I can certainly do something about what's going forward. How we change the way we think, how we stay positive, what we do with our foundation is about how we see life. I often tell people, you know, it's like a foundation. You have to let it dry. And you have to build on that foundation. And building on the foundation is like building great integrity, great character, and understanding. Recently, I was watching the news, and there was a hurricane. Everybody knows about the hurricane that came through in Louisiana. And, you know, they showed the view of before, and then they showed the view of after. And after, you saw a lot of foundations. And, you know, what I thought from that is, you know, they still have something to build from. Because there's still a foundation there. There's a footprint there that they have an opportunity to build some more infrastructure to. So it's not all gone, but you know, the winds come and they blow and tornadoes come. And as I say in my life, trust-sumis come. All kind of things will come in life. And you know, the one thing about it is you know they're going to come. How do you prepare for that? You set a solid foundation. You set the foundation so you're able to build a great infrastructure. I often tell kids, you know, the first 18 years are where you set your foundation. You can play with that all you want, but I can tell you everything about you is going to be built on that foundation. Now, when you get 20, 21, 30, 31, 50 like me, you start to build some serious infrastructure. You start to put boards up. You start to put doors up. You start to go through those doors. Those are the things that you build infrastructure with. But how do you lay your foundation? Laying your foundation is where it starts. Because I can tell you, life is not fair or unfair. It's going to be exactly what you make it. Because usually what you put in it is what you get out of it. Chaos breeds chaos, and mess just loves more mess. I can say for sure, how you see life is how life sees you. And you cannot say it's going to be fair or unfair. You can say it is going to be exactly what I make it. So we can't pull the blame game. Somebody else's fault why we're here where we are. Listen, I get it. Everybody wasn't dealt the best hand. Parents didn't get to choose their kids, and kids didn't necessarily get to choose their parents, if you get it. But the one thing we know is that you do get to choose what you do in life. So at some point in life, you can't blame anybody else for what happens. You have to take accountability for what you do and how you do it. So we won't choose the blame game, but I will tell you this. I've learned a story a long time ago. If you can plan your work, you can work your plan. If you can set it up and say, you know, I don't have years ago I didn't have a GPS, goal standards process system, how we set it up. And, you know, we had maps, and those maps, if you were to unfold those maps, they would cover up the entire windshield. And you didn't know how to fold them back. That's just what happened. Nobody could get it back the way you bought it. But the one thing I know about planning it is that if you can sit down and say, this is what I feel that I'd like to see my life look like. You know, if you can dream it, you can do it. You know, God doesn't allow us to dream things we can't achieve. It's just a matter of how we take our limits off. And I'll remember this. This is my last story and I'm sticking to it. 1987, August the 13th, in my Malibu with no air, in August in Houston, Texas, I decided to go window shopping in the Galleria. I did, and I lived in Katy, so that was a little bit of a drive. And remember now, I was really young, so we didn't have a lot of money for gas. Obviously, we didn't have air, so we certainly didn't have gas. So I decided that I was going to go to something that everybody in Houston talks about. It's called the Galleria. It's supposed to be the expensive place you can shop. And I like window shopping because I certainly couldn't afford to buy anything. So I started on I-10 and I traveled I-10 I got to something that was called a 610 LOOP. I got on it. And I started riding on it, and I did not realize until about my second turn around that it was an absolute circle. It was a long hike around, but when you start to see the same things in life over and over again, you recognize that you are on the loop. You recognize that you are traveling around with no sense of direction, without knowing where you're going, without knowing what exit to take. That was me. That was me on that day, and on that day, I had this wonderful thing say deep inside of me, you need to take an exit, any exit, but you need to get off the loop. You know, and I'm from Arkansas, and we don't have those kind of loops, and I did not recognize the word LOOP meant a circle. My true story is, one day I decided to exit. After the third time around on that loop, I decided to take an exit. I stopped at the Chevron station and I asked the guy, can you tell me where the Galleria is? And he said, it is right over there. I was so close. Some of us are so close. We're so close to our dreams. We're so close to completing our goals. We're so close. We're so close to getting out of the boat and walking on the water. We're so close. But today is all you have. Take the exit. Take the exit and find a way. Don't blame anybody for anything. Just take accountability for the life that you have. Set it, go for it. Get up, get out, get going. It is time to get off the loop.